Hey y'all, Billy Thomas here, and in this video we're going to be looking at doing SQL joins. Let's get to work. The first thing I want to do is show you some data that I've created in SQL that'll help us get our arms around this idea of a join. It's very simple data. I've got one table called customer and one table called sales order. And if I do a select star from both customer and sales order, and I will get 3 records that are customers. I'll get 10 records that are sales orders. And then I took this data out of SQL and put it into Excel to help us be able to visualize better how joins are going to work. Now to move on from here, we've got to look at how will we tie these two tables together. What do we have in common that could take the two data sets and merge them together so that we could see what's happening across the two tables that makes sense. And if you look at table 1, which is customers, you'll see we have customer ID, a unique identifier for every single customer. Over on table 2, sales orders, we've got 3 columns: sales order ID, customer ID, and payment ID. I bet you've guessed already, the way we're going to tie these two together is between customer ID from this table and customer ID from this table. And we're going to actually do this over in SQL Server Management Studio so that we can get a visualization of how this will work. Now here in SQL Server Management Studio, to get started, we're going to go over to Views. We're going to right mouse click. And we're going to hit New View. And what that will do is bring up a list of tables. And there are my two tables, customer and sales order. Now I just double clicked on those and it added those in the background behind the pane here. But you can click one and hit add. There's different ways to get that in there. I'm going to close this. I want you to see that the system has already made an assumption about how these tables will be joined together since we put them in the pane. That it's basically drawn a line here between customer ID and customer ID in sales order. Now, if we select all the fields from both tables and hit execute, and so I hit the star from here and the star from there, it will go out and it will do 10 rows and it will put together the two tables based on customer ID. And let me just show you here a little bit. Now you might see this thing that says expression 1. Expression 1 is here because customer ID is basically being displayed twice. And so it has to name it something different. It can't have the exact same name twice. But you can see all the data from customer is these first columns here. And then sales order are the last 3 columns: sales, customer ID, and payment type. Now, if we also pay attention, you'll see that there are 10 rows. And there should never, on an inner join, there should never be more records than the total number of records in your biggest table. Okay, because what an inner join does is it takes anything from table A or the first table and it joins it to table B, and anywhere there's a match, it displays the data that you've told it to display from those tables. I hope you're hanging with me so far. Maybe you need a quick coffee break or bio break or maybe a quick walk on the beach. But as soon as you get done with that, let's get back at it here. Now this is the place where I think that maybe some of the SQL tutorials and teachings fall short in helping people really understand. And that is what happens when we don't have exact matches between the data sets. Let me show you using our data. So let's grab this Excel spreadsheet that we had and let's add in a new row. And we'll do this over in SQL Server. So let's make this Susie Q. And we'll have her live in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, now we're going to make, for the purposes of keeping the color coding going on, we're going to have her be green. Now, just because I put it in Excel, that's for visualization. We've got to actually do this in SQL. So if I go in here and I go to my handy dandy customer table, I'm going to just add that record in there real quick. So we had Susie Q from Atlanta, Georgia, right? Now, keep in mind that an inner join only puts together rows of data that have a match. So if we look at table A, our first table, which is customers, we've got 4 rows. If we look, and we have customer ID 1, 2, 3, 4. If we look at table B, or our right side table, we have sales orders. We have these sales orders, but if you notice, there are no customer ID number 4s in here. All right, so let's go back and run our inner join and see what happens. So this is our join, nothing's changed. And if I run this now, you'll notice I still only get 10 records. That's because the inner join is doing its job. The job of an inner join is only to show you the data where there are matches. Pause. Now I want you to write that down. Inner join matches only. That's going to save your butt in days to come. Make sure you get it really imprinted inside your head. Inner join matches only. Let's jump back to our Excel spreadsheet. What if we wanted to tell SQL, I want the data from customers table and sales orders table, and I want you to match it, but even if there's not a match for the record over here on customers, I still want you to output that data. That's called an outer join. That's exactly what an outer join does. It will list all the records from the table on the left. This is that left outer join. And it will match it to the table you're joining to, but it will not limit to only matches. Let me show you this in SQL. Well, the first thing I'm going to need to do so that you can see what the world is going on here is move my head out of the way so that you can have a better view of the data. Now, this is where we left off with a inner join. We're only getting data that it's limited by the matches only. To get an outer join, all we have to do is go up to this guy, this relationship, right mouse click on it, and tell it to select everything, all rows from customer. And if you look down in the SQL pane here, now it says select star from customer, left outer join. So now we're going to get everything from this table, and then we'll get any matches from this table. But if we don't have a match, we'll still get the row, but we'll just get nulls for this guy. So the best way to do it is just execute it. Let me show you. Execute this guy. Now look down here. All right, when I've got matches, it displays the data to the right here. But for customer ID number 4, there are no sales orders. And so we get nulls. That is the way an outer join works. Inner join, back to inner join, only matches. Matches only. We're limited by matches. Outer join, well, it's going to say, well, all right, I'll tell you that everything in table A is here, but I'm just going to leave blank when I don't find from table B or from the sales order table. In this case, we get nulls. That's the way an outer join works. SQL joins are always a lot of fun, and I hope that this video was helpful to you. The best thing you can do is practice. Make a couple of tables, join them together, do inner versus outer join, and see if you can get the concepts nailed down inside of that brain of yours. Hey, if this video was helpful to you, please like it and subscribe to my channel. And how about having a great day?